Alright guys, so I just want to go through the bird's eye view of the swamp run with you. Just this is what we're looking at here. We've got a lot to work with. The most important thing when trying to determine the best path through a track, because like obviously if you're a beginner, this is probably the easiest path. Okay, so it's a very easy path. There's very little obstacles. There's very little difficult turns. There is just the two spirals, and everything else is really straightforward. Just minor things that stick out. Nothing major. But if you want to do it faster, you want to go for the fastest run, then obviously you essentially want to do your bird's eye view. So you're starting here, you're finishing here. Not bird's eye view, as the crow flies. So it's pretty much a straight line. That's as straight as I can get it because I don't have a steady hand. So as a straight line, you know, that's the fastest way to get through. So it really looks like this. I have also labeled these, but it looks like right is the fastest way through the track here. So I have labeled them based on, you know, which turns they are at the junctions. However, you don't technically, like, as much as you start from here, no matter which path you take, you're starting from here. So if we go from the first split and just go straight across, that kind of changes it. This path is suddenly more on point until here where it comes out. But for the most part, this does seem like the shortest. This one's a close contender. This one kind of sends you the wrong way, and this one, I guess they all kind of send you the wrong way. But at this point, this left path just seems excessively long and in the wrong direction. So you kind of don't want that. So the right path comes through here, has that one spiral through here. Now that's not exactly how this path quite works. You do actually have a bit of log that blocks you off here. So your path actually cuts through here somewhat. It's probably not as extreme as that. It's probably more like this. Either way, so you do have that path there. And the path is a bit of a tricky one. If you don't land it right, it can flip your car. That could cost you a lot of time. So you can lose a lot of time here. So do worry about that one. The next path to look at, this way here, which is right, left, right. Now, this one seems like a pretty good path, except for one major issue. This has a huge issue that's purely a glitch. Right about here, there's a tree in the middle of the track. Unfortunately, unless you have a Teku car, you cannot pass this tree. You cannot drive through it, you cannot drive around it. The only way to pass it is to go over, and you do need a Teku car for that. So unfortunately, this path we have to kind of cross off. So far, that is a no. You can't do right, left, right. Theoretically. This one is a bit tricky. It's not reliable. This path here, the right, left, left. This is isn't too bad a path. It's nice. So it's what's the word for it? It does have obstacles. Like there's some really annoying obstacles to deal with on this one, and it is a bit of a slower path because you do backtrack a little bit for no reason. I think this might be the slowest path there is. So, but you know, there's more on that later. I have actually done some testing on these. The next we got the right, left, left, right. Sorry, which is the same as the right, left. However, you go through here. Oh, there's a spiral as well. You go through there and into there. So it does seem a bit faster than looping all the way around, just because you get to here a lot quicker, which is where the two tracks merge. And then you have this track, which is massive. This is the longest track of them all, but that's length doesn't always mean it's slow because of the way this track is lined up. Like you have a big, almost straight section all the way down here. Minimal turning, minimal obstacles. You can actually go extremely fast through here if you can keep the car steady. So that's something you should be aware of, is that this section here is actually probably the best part for you to open up your car and go really fast. If you've got a fast car, you can save a lot of time. So I have actually done a bit of testing with this. We'll grab the snipping tool. So I just want to bring this up here because this has the times I got. So this is the times I got with actually trying to do this. So for right, which is the first one, so this one here, this is a 2:29. So I did this in 2 minutes 29 seconds. That's not a bad time. I don't hate this time. That's pretty much the fastest. So generally, as long as you don't screw this path up, this bridge up, you're fine. Although do be aware there is like a little bit of clipping on one of the vines. If you run into that, it's gonna like obviously cost you some time. Don't forget, these aren't perfect. These are not the best time you can get. They're just times. Oh wow, so they are just one-off attempts. They're not perfected runs or anything like that. The right, left. So this one here, which is, oops, not that one. You want right, left. That's the 2:43. So that is a much slower time than the others on here. Like that's significantly slower than the others. It just seems that this section is just really quite slow, or this whole section combined is slower than this by about 9 seconds or so. So yeah, the next one is the left-right, which is like that. As I said, like that's also a relatively slow one compared to this one here. So this one actually ended up being a decent time. And if I was braver and was willing to nitrox the whole time, because I was just doing these runs back to back, obviously I wasn't going as fast as I could be. But if you're willing to nitrox a lot more on this one, you can easily beat that 2:29 that I got going through here. So this one has a lot more viability, as long as you can deal with this section. The track here is really tight. If you can deal with that, you're fine. The last one here is the right. So this includes this section. So for this one, you have to be using a Teku car. You drive through normally, but here you do need to use the jump jets and you need to land on the track. Unfortunately, the track is on a bit of an angle, so when you do your jump jets, your car will just fly off. So as an example, because you're on this angle and you are trying to get over a tree that will stop you here, when you do boost up, you will just kind of fly off to the side. So you got to be very careful with it. You boost too much or too close to the left side and you'll just miss the track when you come down. And there's a second tree as well. It's not one tree, it's actually two. The second one you can sort of drive around, but it is still there. It is still an obstacle. So you need to be able to go up, and you kind of want to be able to jump over both trees, but still stop before you reach this edge here, because it's pretty much, it's here-ish somewhere. So that's the various paths along this track. And yeah, so realistically, optimally, if you're in a Teku car, the fastest path is through here, and then a jump here, and then through there. If you're not in a Teku car, you're more comfortable in something else, that's when you'll want the whole, this one. I personally would recommend this one, just because this is unreliable. You cannot rely on landing that bump there safely, as well as if you miss it, you're just going to crash into trees or logs or whatever over the path. It's not ideal. And the log itself, the vines themselves that you got to drive across, just they are unreliable, especially with that glitch there. This part here, you got to worry about the drop. You do have to land that drop. Same with this one. This is also another drop. So you do need to be aware that those drops can cause you to crash, can cause issues. I would honestly just disregard these two parts entirely, just because they are significantly slower than the others. Well, maybe this one. This one's okay, but with the risk of that drop that comes straight into a corner, I don't like it personally, especially when this path is just significantly better. So yeah, that's how I feel about the Swamp Realm. So that's my verdict on the fastest paths and stuff. If you're not comfortable nitroxing all the way, then this one. If you are comfortable nitroxing all the way, this one. And if you have the jump jets and you're comfortable with those, this one. But realistically, that comes down to you. However, I feel like when it comes to speed running, that's going to be the fastest route. Is just this one here. Just purely because we do have that jump jets available, and we have that fortunately on a fast car.